Throughout this video, there's one point that is what I'm just trying to make clear, and that's that Red Dead Online needs an update. And in this video, we're going to be playing some Red Dead Online, just talking about the current state of the game, why it needs an update, and what went wrong, and just everything Red Dead Online related at the moment, everything that's disappointing with the game. And yeah, we're going to be playing a bit of the game on PC on my other account, since yeah, I decided to switch things up. Usually I use my PS5, of course, but I thought, you know, I want to get the higher frames since, well, one of the first problems we'll get into is that there is no next-gen version of the game. So, yeah, we'll be talking about all of that in this video. But just for all of that, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is a fantastic website where you can get access to all sorts of games across all different platforms for insanely cheap prices. You can get games such as Red Dead Redemption 2 on a really heavy discount, the Ultimate Edition of the game as well. So next time that you buy a game, be sure to use Instant Gaming with the link in the description to be able to just save yourself some money, whether you're buying a gift card for a friend or a game for yourself. Just use Instant Gaming with the link in the description because you literally will just save money and there are no downsides. And in fact, I'm actually running a giveaway through Instant Gaming. Anyone that buys anything on Instant Gaming, no matter the value, between now and the end of the year, you'll be entered into a giveaway to win a free Instant Gaming gift card. So be sure to buy anything really from Instant Gaming using the link in the description below. Anyways, back into the video. So, why don't we do, we'll travel to Emerald Station, and I think we'll do a stranger mission over there. Now, yeah, so the reason I'm on PC is because I get much higher frames, because over on my PlayStation 5, that is where I have my better account, but it's annoying because I'm playing the game at 30 frames per second, and it's nowhere near as good an experience as what I do get on my PC. So yeah, this is really annoying because on PC I don't have the same progression that I've got on my PlayStation. So that's a big downside. The fact that we're in 2023, you know, pretty much 3 years after the next gen console's released, and the game still is a PS4 game. There's no next gen version. GTA 5 has a next gen version, and what are those? Oh, okay. I think I know why those fireworks are going off. See, this is the problem with the PC lobbies. I assume that's a mod. I actually have no idea, to be honest. We'll go investigate. But yeah, it's really disappointing that there is no next gen version. Just a 60 FPS patch would be all we need, but I'm not going to talk about the next gen, you know, the problem with that for the whole video and speculating about that, since it is still possible we could get it, since I have already done a video going over all of that, and I'll link that in the description below and at the end of this video. But yeah, let's move on to the current state of the game. Now, Red Dead Online's last major update was in July of 2021, so it's been over 2 years. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting anything anytime soon, to be honest with you. It's possible if we got a next gen update we get some sort of content for online. That'd be amazing. Those fireworks do look really cool. And yeah, it's just disappointing really that we've not received any sort of update. The last update we got was the Red Dead Online Blood Money update. That's been the last major update. We have had updates since then, just small Telegram missions and everything like that, which aren't bad updates, but obviously we need much more than that, that's for sure. So yeah, look, it's really it's sad to see, since Red Dead Online is actually a game I really enjoy and that a lot of people enjoy, but it's hard to enjoy the game when there's literally nothing to work towards, nothing to grind for, no reason really to be playing the game, since yeah, there's literally no content coming anytime soon by the looks of things. So that is disappointing, but it's just the way it is at the moment. And yeah, I mean, the people have stopped complain. That's just literally coming out of the ground. But look, people have just obviously stopped complaining. We had the whole Save Red Dead Online movement, which was really cool, but it's got to the point now where it's just, you know, people are losing hope because there's been no sort of meaningful update or anything for Red Dead Online for a long time. In fact, now all we get in terms of updates or in terms of weekly discounts and bonuses is the same real. Literally, we don't get weekly discounts and bonuses anymore. We get monthly ones, which is obviously a sign they're slowing down support for the game, and along with that, it's literally the same thing every single month really. It's just on a basic rotation of bounty hunter bonuses, trader bonuses, yada. The same thing every single time, which is obviously annoying and it's repetitive, and for someone that's obviously anyone really that's unlocked all the roles in the game and they've got all of those to the max level and they've basically got everything they need, there's no real benefit. Obviously for new players, they're great, they're really good discounts, really good bonuses. But for anyone else, the veteran players of the game, they're completely useless and they really mean nothing. So yeah, some sort of content would be great, but there's literally been nothing for ages. So Now, in terms of whether there'll be an update again, I mean, it's obviously unlikely, but you never know with Rockstar. They are an unpredictable company at the end of the day. But obviously with GTA 6 getting its first trailer soon, in fact by the time this video is out, it might even be out. Obviously GTA 6 is a game I'm really looking forward to, without a doubt, and I'm really looking forward to what Rockstar have done with that. But obviously that is a, you know, a sign that obviously all their support is going to be on that at the moment. So obviously that's a reason, you know, that there could be no Red Dead Online update for a long time yet. It's possible they'll go back to the game one day. Who knows? I just think it's unlikely, since I don't know why they'd just stop. But it's weird to me because it was still, yeah, it didn't make as much money as GTA Online, but it's still a very, very, very successful game. And it was a massive money maker still. Obviously, compared to GTA Online, it wasn't as big, but GTA Online is one of the biggest games of all time. So I feel like if they were comparing it to that, then that's odd. But at the end of the day, you know, Rockstar are the ones that decide these things, or well, Take-Two. And yeah, there's only so much that can be sort of done on our end. Obviously, the Save Red Dead Online movement was a pretty big one to try and, you know, help or try and get some sort of communication from Rockstar. But yeah, it's all disappointing. In fact, when that was going on was when I believe we got the first confirmation that GTA 6 was in development. So yeah, it's disappointing that we've not had any sort of communication. That's an issue, I would say. But yeah, I mean, literally the content I'm doing right now is one of the many, well, few things you can do. Now, I don't think that there's a bad amount of content now. If you're a beginner in the game, then I think the game's really good. I think that if you're starting from rank 1 today and you're deciding whether you should play Red Dead Online 2023, if you never played it before, then I think you absolutely should, since I do think that what's there is great. And there is, you know, hundreds of hours of content you can get stuck into, but it is just once you're done, you are probably done. I doubt they'll add anything else, especially for, well, a long time yet. So yeah, it's disappointing to see, but from a new player perspective, as a beginner, then I think it's great. I don't see any real downsides. I think, yeah, if you're thinking whether it's worth playing in 2023, then I think it is. It absolutely is. And I have actually done a beginner's guide to the game. I'll link that in the description as well. But yeah, I personally really like Red Dead Online. I've played Red Dead Redemption 2 as a whole since it released. It's one of my favourite games, if not probably my favourite game of all time. I think the detail, the graphics, everything's amazing. I still think that graphically and detail-wise and gameplay-wise, nothing is yet to beat it. I always said that I think the only thing that will ever beat Red Dead 2 and, you know, graphics and everything like that is GTA 6, and I think that will be the case by the looks of things. Since there's been close calls, Cyberpunk I guess could be up there, maybe Starfield, but I don't think that was really what everyone was expecting. That's about it really I can think of that would be close. Hogwarts Legacy maybe in terms of graphics, but I really don't think anything's been that close to Red Dead Redemption 2. I still think that it looks outstanding, and it's 5 years old this year. Does not show its age at all in any way whatsoever. The only place it does show its age is on the next gen consoles, with it still being 30 frames, which is really disappointing. So yeah, that's the only downside really. I mean, even Red Dead Redemption 1 has 60 frames, so you know, you would hope that it would get 60 FPS patch, and it's the fact it doesn't even need a PS5 version or an Xbox Series X and S version. It literally just needs a 60 FPS patch. I feel like that's all it really needs. But yeah, I won't go into loads of detail on that. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video talking about Red Dead Online and that it desperately needs an update. I mean, for someone like me and for many people that have been playing the game since day one, they've obviously played through every update when they've launched, and we used to get 2 updates a year just like GTA Online does, but now we don't get that. It's hard to just continue playing the game and there's not much to do. Now, I do still play the game every now and then, nowhere near as much as I used to. I used to absolutely play the hell out of this game. I've got a ridiculous amount of hours on this game in total across PC and PlayStation. But yeah, I really don't play the game as much anymore. And it's a shame because the game is great. The base mechanics, the combat is really, really good. And I think the PvP in a lot of ways is solid. So yeah, there's many things about the game I do enjoy, and the content that's there I really, really do enjoy. I actually quite enjoyed the Blood Money update. It wasn't what everyone expected it to be, but I actually thought it was pretty solid, to be honest with you. So there's not actually been an update yet that I haven't enjoyed. I think the Frontier Pursuits or Moonshine update were definitely up there as my favourites. But yeah, every update I think has been good. Obviously some, you know, they've had their issues, but all the good sides of every update have been amazing, and I think that, you know, when the game's actually playable, it went through that massive phase of being absolutely broken, but you know, besides the bugs that have arrived with some updates, I think the actual content is always pretty solid, and I think they had a good premise for the game, yeah, but it's disappointing. And I think one of the reasons that the game hasn't gone in the way that everyone wanted it to was the fact it didn't launch with much with it when it had its beta stage. All you could really do is what I'm doing right now. I believe you could do that, and I think there were a couple story missions and I think was PvP around. I actually can't remember, but it was a very, very basic online game when it did first launch, and that's obviously yeah, I don't think that helps at all, since it was always at that point it always got, it was just an update releases, people finish it, that really want new content, and I think that was unfortunate, since yeah, I think the game was just released a bit too early, and I think that if they'd waited until maybe the Frontier Pursuits update, obviously maybe the game, it was hard because obviously Red Dead Redemption 2, by the time Frontier Pursuits have been out for almost a year, so they maybe didn't want to wait that long, but I feel like at that point the game was in a good state to have enough content to launch, and also was, yeah, there was enough content to be there, and the point that they could then start developing a new update and players could play through that current content that was already there. But instead it launched in a state where there wasn't really much to do at all. You could just do a bit of hunting, there was a couple of these missions around, and that was about it. But I suppose at the time it wasn't really an issue because the story mode was absolutely huge. I mean, that you could sink hundreds of hours into that, separately. But yeah, it's disappointing, and obviously there's a lot of monetization in the game, which isn't, you get that in every single online game these days. We get it in GTA Online. That game's still really popular, so I don't think that's really an issue. But they did, they did a few scummy moves. Obviously, nerfing daily challenges wasn't ideal. That didn't help. I don't know why they did that at all, since it was cool. Some people had really 500-day long daily challenge streaks, but they just completely got rid of that, and I don't know why, since in my opinion that was a thing that kept people playing the game every day, even though there wasn't any content, since it just kept people coming back to the game every single day, like myself, to keep that streak going, since it was a good way to earn gold. But they just got rid of that, and I think that actually stopped a lot of people from playing the game. In fact, for me, I have no incentive to, before I made sure that I got on the game at least once a day, and, I'd stay on it for a bit once I'd loaded up the game, and that was a good way to keep people playing. Whereas since they removed that whole daily challenge streak system, or they just completely nerfed it, just really nerfed it, it makes it pointless, since the streak resets every 28 days, so there's no incentive to, get on the game every day, whereas there used to be that incentive, even when there was nothing else, there was no other major content really that I hadn't played through yet, so I still went on the game every day to keep my daily challenge streak going, and they got rid of that, and I don't think that made any sense. And obviously they made Red Dead Online a standalone game. I don't think that was a bad move. Some people really didn't like that. I wasn't too fussed, since at the end of the day it meant that I could get the game for really cheap. I think it was it £5 for, or 15, something like that. You could get the game for a stupidly cheap price, and I think that even for £15, even today, that's still worth it. That's pretty solid price, considering, yeah, like I said, as a beginner, there's a lot of content to play through. But yeah, I just want to do this video talking about the current state of the game, and the current state is it's not great. There's not, for a person like me, a veteran to the game, so, or anyone really that's over, rank 100, to be honest, since I would say that's around when you've done a lot of what there is to offer. There's not loads to do. I mean, what's already there is good, and I am more than happy to play through the old content, but there's just nothing to look forward to. Whereas before, and with GTA Online, there's always, in a couple months we'll be getting the next big update, whereas of course we don't get that with Red Dead Online. We've not had that for 2 whole years. So, the best thing I can look forward to really is the Halloween Pass 2 releasing for the 3rd time, which I've already completed, and is completely pointless. Or, an extra Telegram mission half the time that have already released and are just being re-released, or whatever it is. So, yeah, that's about it with Red Dead Online. And it's disappointing, since I think the game has so much potential. There's so much they could do. They could do proper properties. They could do, obviously, you could have your own farm. They could do there's so much they could do. Obviously, heists is a major thing in GTA Online. They've not really touched in this game. So yeah, there's so much. There's also so much that's already in the story mode that they could just copy over into the online. That would be really cool, but they haven't done that. There's a couple weapons, in fact, that aren't even in the online mode that are in the story mode. Stuff like that. There's a lot that could just be ported over, which I can't see would be that much effort. They could do that. They could bring, as an update, they could bring over stuff from the story mode, a couple exclusive items, and also do a 60 FPS patch for the game on the next gen consoles. They could do all that together. That would get people really happy. That would bring people back to the game. It would make Rockstar some money for a pretty low effort update, to be honest with you. So yeah, there's so much they could do in it. It just baffles me that they stopped, properly supporting the game, because the potential is massive, and it's not like it was a bad money maker at all. It was a popular game, and it would have been even more popular if they had continued to support the game. But yeah, never really got the love it deserved, to be honest. It's disappointing, but I am looking forward to GTA 6, and yeah, obviously that's going to be a massive release. So you know, I suppose there is something positive on the way. But for Red Dead players, yeah, it's not all great. But at the end of the day, if you are a beginner and you're wondering whether you should play the game for the first time, absolutely do. There's a great community behind the game, and there is a lot of good content there. And at the end of the day, the game's not dead. You know, people play the game. The lobbies aren't as big as they used to be, but you do still get a lot of people playing the game. So yeah, you know, the servers aren't dead yet, and it is still a decently alive and well played game, and it is a solid game for what it is at the moment. It just, you know, for people that have already played through everything, you know, there needs to be more. But yeah, that does just about wrap up things here. That's just talking about Red Dead Online in 2023 and why it really needs an update. But for a beginner, it's a very good game in my opinion. But yeah, that does just about wrap up things here. Now, on screen you are seeing a link to a different video. Hit the link on the screen if you are interested in watching that. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.